We'll start off with Omicron.
Yes.
You
Oh
know,
my
I guess
God.
it's oh my god, yeah, exactly. And then we found out that we actually aren't the only ones talking about it. It's all over. Every single person is talking about it, including our best pal, sister company Reggie. Um, we are taking a little bit of a spin on it, though. I mean, and one of the things that we want to talk about here is the fact that Omicron is really uncertain, right, in the market, and that's the way that I see it, Anthony. It's everybody's trying to open up, right? In Asia, everyone was trying to create these sort of vaccinated travel lanes where you don't have to go ahead and quarantine. When roughly 70-80% of the population has been vaccinated, and we're trying to open up to the market as well, mainly because we haven't had a very good 2 years. However, this Omicron stemming from South Africa now traveled to Hong Kong, Australia, even touched Singapore in transit, and of course in Europe, is causing an uncertainty because of the vaccination. What do you think about that? I think firstly you're on mute.
Terrible. Yeah. So I mean, look, I think this is really about the context, right? We have had COVID. We have kind of gone past that. We have had Delta and kind of gone past that. This is just never ending on a personal level. But yeah, I mean, look at markets. Markets have been insane, right? It was
Mhm.
designated, I think, a variant of concern on Friday, US time, which was just after the Thanksgiving holiday. Half-day markets in the US it collapsed, except for Zoom,
Yep.
naturally. But we'll talk about that. And on Monday, which was yesterday, that being when we are recording this, it went up again, right? So it's
Yes.
it's very fluctuating. There's a lot of hot air about what the strain actually does and what the effect could be. But I think that the science is out, and because the science is out, we don't know how we will deal with it.
No, fair enough, right? And I think one of the things that got concerning was the fact that the vaccines were only like 40% effective. And I presume,
Well,
I,
we
I
don't know that
assume that
yet.
well, it's being tested.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know. Wasn't it Moderna, sorry, saying that they could trying to come up with a vaccine for Omicron by next year or something like that?
Yeah, they were
Um,
trying, I guess, to be a bit reassuring and say, oh, we can start development in 6 weeks and we should have a new one by next year. But really, they don't know firstly what the efficacy of current vaccines are for this strain, and because of that, whether it's actually required. I think it's slightly self-serving because he wants to sell drugs, right? He needs
yes.
business, but I think honestly, it's a bit early. Let's wait for the science to be more certain, and by then the markets will have a clearer direction as well.
Yeah, and I guess that's what we're here to talk about, right? This sort of uncertainty because science is not really certain. Everyone is still trying to just close their borders, trying to sort of get what they have and sort of hedge and not try and get this virus back into their country where they've been trying to stabilize hospitalization rates is causing uncertainty in the market. People aren't really sure what's going on, plus and minus. Obviously, we saw the stocks drop, literally giving us a roller coaster ride this past couple of days. But I think one thing to note here was that not only did the pharma stocks drop, everything dropped, right? Which
Yeah.
is which is which is quite weird.
Well, Zoom took the opposite roller coaster. So when everything was dropping, it was rising, and when everything rose yesterday, it dropped. But this is what I actually wanted to talk about, right? The first order is simple, right? New COVID strain, we are all going to lockdown again. It's bad. Travel, tourism, all of that going down the drain, right? Retail, that's
Absolutely.
all gone down the chutes. Interestingly, at least last Friday, what also dropped was your small and mid tech companies, right? Your
Mm,
Twilios, your Shopify's, Amplitude, they dropped as well. And I mean, if we are going to a lockdown, we are closing down again. My intuitive take on it is that our tech should go back up, adoption increases, right?
mhm.
Your multiples expand, but it fell. So I don't know, man. We need to find a reason for this. Do you have any
Absolutely.
thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts here is that, just people are uncertain. They rather just hoard the cash. And I think, one thing that we all know is that there is a lot of liquidity in the market, right? Literally prices are going up, up, up. If not, if they miss earnings, they go down dramatically and then they go back up again because people are literally hoarding that cash. And are they uncertain that they should just hoard the cash, right? I think that's what my take is for this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think it could just be, taking profits, taking some money off the table. I don't know if that's enough to cause the magnitude, but I guess people are just lighter on the trigger finger nowadays. Yeah. So, but if that's the case, in this situation, what would you do? What's the play here?
Yes, that's a very good question. My take is to wait it out. I think if you're already in and you're making a loss, you should just hold. I feel that it's a really good time to also capitalize because just like what you said, Anthony, right? The small mid tech, the HubSpots, the Sprout Socials, the Amplitudes, the Twilios,
We
these
are
should
all
be
just naming our
skyrocketing.
book here.
Yeah.
We are all just naming the shares you own.
Yes. We are together with these smaller tech companies and growth stocks. They should not be affected by this delta strain. They should be positively affected, actually. And the fact that it's down could be a decent arbitrage in order for you to go in and take a look. Like a simple example would be HubSpot dropped $100 last week, right? And that's quite a lot of money because it's made that back up yesterday. So that's always something to look at in terms of a dip, right? If you
Yep.
if you have spare capital to go and go in again.
Yeah, I think that's right, right? It's fundamentally about spare capital and about having confidence in the business of the company to
Mhm.
continue growing, right? That's where you look to allocate. You don't buy anything, right? And I think also that if it's spare capital, it has to be capital you don't really need because this roller coaster will go on for quite a while yet. So it has to be at least a midterm, 1 to 3 year hold. It's harder to trade in and out with confidence, I think. Or at least that's not my mentality. So I always find it hard to take that 1 month and make 10% and then run away. But yeah, different people have different approaches. What I would say is, if there's spare capital, honestly, I would put it in Nasdaq. I'll put it in big tech, right? In uncertainty, that there's flights to safety, and and
Mhm.
Fang M or Mama Tan or whatever the new acronym is nowadays. It's they are the safe harbor now, right? It's not your Pepsi, it's not your Shell, it's not your old school defensive companies. Allocate to big tech. If you think there's a downturn, allocate to Berkshire. He will know what to do with your money, and if not, he'll do
Mhm.
share buybacks to give you some return. I think that's safety to me, in the equity space because you can't do bonds, right? Yields are
Yeah.
relatively crap for now. So, yeah, it's just looking for relative safety. I think within the space that we have.
Definitely. And of course, to our coconuts out there listening, this isn't the only factor, obviously, that goes with what happened last week. I'm sure there are a lot of other factors as well. They were talking about the Fed trying to increase rates. To find out more about that, please go ahead. We do have Reggie actually did a really good podcast. Was it a couple of days ago? With regards right on the main feed, I think it's TFC Financial Podcast. Go ahead and listen to that. He talks about the Omicron virus. He does refer to it as Omicron, though. So don't be alarmed. It's
Terrible.
it's Omicron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same. It's the same thing. It's not a new company. Yeah.
It's yes, exactly. It's not a transformer either. But go ahead. He has some great insights there. Please go ahead and listen. It's roughly about 20 minutes or so.